back. So, all right. I got a bunch of really interesting news from DC and HBO. So, let's get into it. Welcome to the newest episode of SDW.
Super Dario World!
So yeah, I need to clarify a little bit here. It's just a tiny thing. Just want to clarify it because it's important. Some of these things are not 100% confirmed. Some of these things are maybe just speculation, and some of this stuff is 100% confirmed. So I'm gonna talk to you about that, but the rest of it is just speculation because I've had somebody be mad at me before because like you said this was gonna happen and then it doesn't happen. I don't control things. Okay, I don't control when things come out, especially this year. Things get changed up. But before I get into it, let me just give you a quick reminder that any comments, questions, or suggestions, you can find me at Dario the Show on Instagram and at Super Dario World. Also, I'm live streaming on Twitch and on YouTube at Super Dario World. If you just want to check out this video later because it helps you out, have some visuals and stuff, you can find that. It'll load later on YouTube at Super Dario World. So let's get into it. First and foremost, I want to get like the little news out of the way. And I mean, it's not that little, but it's, it's the not as important things. Just because I want to catch up. I've been a little bit behind on, let's say, the news for DC and all that stuff, and I promised that I would catch up, and I'm going to collect everything. So that's what's going to happen right now. So first off, big news, director and actor, Academy Award nominee Sylvester Stallone has joined James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. Now, actually, Sylvester Stallone has worked with James Gunn before. If you guys saw Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, they worked together. And he just put up a post confirming that I'll just read you the thing. He put up a picture of himself with Sylvester Stallone at a bar, which is weird. And, well, I guess I could have done it before. I was like, I always love working with my friend Sylvester Stallone, and our work today on The Suicide Squad, which was no exception. Despite Sly being an iconic movie star, most people still don't have any idea what an amazing actor this guy is. I mean, I always thought that he was an okay actor. Good. I mean, it's not easy to do action movies, I guess, but especially movies that are consecutively good or that are at least fun to watch. But the Rocky ones, he actually flexes his acting muscles there. Particularly the latest one, Creed. In the first Creed, you can tell that the dude's legit. So I don't know what he means there, but there you go. We finally have another name. We don't have any idea what the hell kind of role he plays or if it's just going to be a cameo. But so far, it's honestly, to me, it's fun because I like Sylvester Stallone and I like what he brings to the table. So next, we finally got a statement from Amber Heard. I talked about this earlier in the week that Amber Heard and her controversy with Johnny Depp, she finally put out a statement because it was not sure if she was going to be leaving Aquaman 2. People wanted her out because Johnny Depp got kicked out from Fantastic Beasts 3. Still a lot of stuff going on there, and I will update you once we have, definitive stuff. But for now, this is her statement that she put out for her fans. So, quote, "I'm super excited about the amount of fan love and the amount of fan appreciation that Aquaman has acquired, and that it has garnered so much excitement for Aquaman and the Mira that it means we'll be coming back." I think I was trying to do a voice, but I failed. All right. I was going to do a Valley Girl voice, but I don't know why, like, my gut instinct went like, no, you can't. But let me just read it again. I'll try to read like a normal human being. So, quote, "I'm super excited about the amount of fan love and the amount of fan appreciation that Aquaman has acquired and that it has garnered so much excitement for Aquaman and Mira, and it means we'll be coming back. Comma." That's the first comma. "I'm so excited to film that." She also added, "Paid rumors and paid campaigns on social media don't dictate casting decisions because they have no basis in reality. Only the fans actually made Aquaman and Aquaman 2 happen. I'm excited to get started next year." Okay, well, I guess that's a statement. I mean, like I said, it's a controversial topic. We still don't know what it is. It could be paid rumors, sure. It could be paid campaigns, but I doubt it because I'm not seeing this just on social media. I'm seeing it on like a whole bunch of other type. Like I've seen it on Reddit. I've seen it on 9gag. I've seen it on a whole bunch of different, and those are mostly fans. So if they're upvoting stuff, when things get upvoted, it means that people like the post, and it's usually posts about how she's the real villain of 2020. So or at least in this particular topic, or she's one of the real villains. So I don't. My gut feeling is that this is not paid rumors or paid campaigns. It actually has a legit following for people, because turns out Johnny Depp is kind of a popular guy, and also guys are kind of upset with being railroaded and the double standards of, if a guy if there's an argument, or it's alleged that a guy beat up a girl, then his life's over. But if there's evidence of a girl actually beating up a guy, then that means her career is still fine. I'm guessing people are upset about that double standard, and that's why it gets upvoted, especially because most of these websites are mostly dominated by males. There's other websites that are dominated by females, but the ones that I've seen, shockingly enough, are the ones that are dominated by males. Who'd have thought? I'm a male, and I watch, and I mostly go to those sites. Interesting. I don't know. It's almost like people are different. But yeah, it's like I said, it's an ongoing story. I'm on the side of the guy who actually showed evidence. And like I said, I do not like Warner Brothers' decision here at all. They should have just fired both of them. That would have been the easy solution, and that would have been it. It's funny. It's one of those decisions where you're like, all right, pick a side or pick no side, and there's options that's gonna piss off one side. There's options that's gonna piss off the other side, and they went with the decision that's gonna piss off pretty much everybody, or the worst out of all of them. Because listen, I get it. If I'm trying to look at it as if I'm the studio, I'm Warner Brothers, and there's this controversy with this couple, and it's unclear which side it's going to, I'd be like, you know what? I'm just, you guys deal with yourself. We don't need this drama. Get out, both of you. If things turn around, maybe we won't kill off your character. Maybe we'll, just put him off to the side a little bit. But overall, I'm going to avoid this drama. I don't need it in my life. We don't need it. We'll reassess it after the courts deal with all that stuff. So that's what I would have done. But what they did here is they completely favored one side. And I don't understand it, because to me, I think Johnny Depp is the bigger star. And I think more people went to see, well, first off, Harry Potter, Fantastic Beasts seems like the franchise that needs more of the star power over Aquaman, where Aquaman, people go to see Aquaman because of Jason Momoa, not because of Amber Heard. So if I was going to kick anybody out, I would have kicked Amber Heard, because nobody goes to see Aquaman because of Amber Heard. They don't. They go there to see Aquaman. And so in Fantastic Beasts, on the other hand, Fantastic Beasts, that guy was the villain. He was the villain of the film. So I don't understand. And actually, you could argue that he's, of the whole franchise, and I don't know. I was going to go on a rant, but it doesn't matter. The point is, weird decision. Weird response, but we'll see what happens. Like I said, I'll keep you posted. But this keeps getting weirder and weirder. Next, we have some rumors that HBO might be bringing back a show. Now, this is it's teased by one of the show's stars, and I'm talking about the show Entourage. Have you ever watched it? It's a show on HBO. Loved it. This was kind of like the male equivalent for Sex and the City. It was a great show. It's basically about one dude who's a movie star in LA. And he brings his four best friends to be his entourage, and they all try to make it in LA together. It's great. It's basically the story of Mark Wahlberg, but kind of exaggerated a little bit. Anyway, one of the stars of the show, the original show, Kevin Dillon, he teased that the show might be getting a revival. Now, the show ended a few years ago, and then there was a movie which was kind of bad, or at least forgettable. And now, in an interview, the actor, he said, I'll just read the quote. Isn't that just a great show for a pandemic? He was talking about people binge watching Entourage now. He's like, isn't that a great show for a pandemic? He and I are actually going to record the next episode of our podcast, Victory, the podcast, together after this with Kevin Connolly. I've been working on Doug for a long time, and he finally said, I would maybe consider a reboot of Entourage. Wouldn't that be cool? All the actors wanted to do it as well. So, basically, he said a lot of stuff. I'll just reiterate the part that's important. He was talking about the producer or the creator of the show, Doug, and he said that he would be interested in making a reboot. Now, does this mean that all the actors would come back? I don't know. However, I don't think anybody is actually doing anything. Like out of the stars of the show, maybe the biggest star is I forget, Jeremy Piven, and he hasn't done anything in a while. So I'm pretty sure they would all be excited about coming back. Will it be the same? I don't think so. It'll be probably a little bit sadder because the fun part is a bunch of young dudes being crazy in LA, trying to squeeze as much juice as they can from one of his friends' fame. And it's fun shenanigans when you're younger. It gets a little bit sadder when it's older. But, however, it could be kind of like a Jackass situation where I heard when you heard that they were going to make a Jackass movie and you're like, why are they going to make that? It's sad. These dudes are old now. It's not going to be funny. And then it turns out that it's still historical to see them get injured. I don't know what could happen, but it seems interesting. It could be interesting. I don't know. I'll watch it. I was a fan. Like I said, I was a fan of the show, and so I'll give it a shot. I'll give it a shot. Next, well, let's get into the whole movie side of things. So, HBO has confirmed that Wonder Woman 1984. Well, DC and HBO have confirmed that the movie will be streaming on HBO Max the same day that it comes out on theaters, which is on December 25th. Now, what does this mean? Will you have to pay extra? No. You will not have to pay extra to watch this movie. It will stream on HBO Max. It's going to be only for like a month, and then it's going to be only on theaters, and then when it comes out on DVD and all that stuff, then it's going to go back to streaming. It's a weird thing. However, this is going to be the first like film that's going to be theatrically released at the same time, and it's going to appear on HBO Max. And this is kind of a big deal because this could be a game changer. However this movie goes could be the future of cinema. And there's already other movies that are being considered to be a part of it. And, to be a part of this particular experience. So, what could we expect out of all of this? First off, and all right, just to clarify, I have HBO Max. I really enjoy it. I love it because all the DC stuff is there pretty much. Pretty much all the things that I like are in there. I also like I'm gonna finish the review for Raised by Wolves. I will do it. I haven't finished the season because I've been delayed with other stuff, but I will finish it. I like the shows there. I like to have a bunch of movies, and pretty much the shows. And now if they're gonna start streaming movies there, instead of having to go to the movie theater, and I don't have to pay any extra for it, like Disney Plus did Mulan for like $30 or something like that, and HBO Max is gonna do Wonder Woman for free. Well, not for free because you're still paying for the service. It's a good deal. Like honestly, it's a good deal. I would recommend HBO Max already, and this is not a commercial for them, and they've not paid me for this. I'm just saying it because I legit enjoyed it, and I know that I know some people in my audience have asked me that question. I'm enjoying it. I think it's fun. I like what's there. I like the content. I'm a DC guy. I'm also a Marvel guy, but I already have Disney Plus for that, so I'm covered. I'm covered both ends. But yeah, this seems like a really good thing. Now, what does this mean for the industry? Because how is this movie going to make any money? It's weird. Is it going to be, well, HBO is going to be paying Warner Brothers, like, oh, well, we're paying you for the rights to stream this movie, blah, blah, blah. So they're going to make money there. So, and they might still make money from the theatrical release. I'm not planning on going to the theatrical release because I already have HBO Max and I can watch it at home. So what does this mean for movie theaters? Well, if the big titles start streaming on this big streaming service, it's bad for movie theaters because I think most people will choose to watch it at home. Also, if movies, they slowly and surely TV has taken over, the entertainment industry because the quality for TV has gone way, way up. The quality for films has kind of gone down. So if I have to make a guess, I think this is kind of where the industry is going. Because first off, and I talked about this in a previous podcast, the movie business is dying. And I mean seriously dying. But, well, I don't mean the movie business. I mean theaters are dying because of COVID, because they're locked down. And even if they're allowed to open, there's no new movies coming out. So the whole industry has been delayed. And on the other hand, the streaming business is booming like crazy. And most people, I don't think they're going to be canceling their subscriptions. So you got a business that's dying and you got a business that's booming. It's still probable and let's say likely that theaters will survive because, the nostalgia and it's fun to go to the movie theaters, but only for particular films. But if this continues any longer and if Wonder Woman is successful, if they actually find a way to make money here, or if HBO sees like, oh, this is a way to make more subscribers and to make more money, I think this is the way of the future. Like, slowly but surely, movie theaters are going to die. And now, I've also considered a few things like, why are they rushing this? Because why do they have to get Wonder Woman 1984 out by December 25th? And if I have to make a guess, I'm going to speculate here because this is where I said I was going to speculating. It has to do with the Zack Snyder cut for Justice League. I think DC wants to get their calendar in order, and I think some things that happen in Wonder Woman 1984 are going to be somewhat relevant in the Zack Snyder cut. That's why they did a little bit of reshoots. I'll get into the reshoots in a minute, but because apparently it wasn't that much, but it cost them like $70 billion, like billions, not billions, I'm like millions of dollars, but it was only like a few minutes. But I'll get into that in a minute. So I think it's going to be somewhat relevant, or it's possible that the Snyder cut could do a spoiler for 1984. I don't know. The point is, I think they're going to be somewhat related. And so you got Wonder Woman 1984 coming out on HBO Max on December 25th. Later on in the year in 2021, you're going to be getting the Snyder cut, which honestly, it's it's one of the main reasons why I got HBO Max. And then they're planning pretty much a whole reboot for this whole cinematic universe with the Flash movie. So I think they were like, you know what, we need to pull the trigger on this. You got Suicide Squad coming out soon, so they're like, all right, we need to start fixing this stuff, and we need to start fixing it now. And also, if we can attract our audience, if we can make HBO Max be the place for DC fans, that's a pretty big market that you're going to be cornering right there. So, like I said, it's mostly speculation, but I think Wonder Woman 1984, the numbers are going to be really good for HBO Max, and I think that this might be the route of the future. Because for those of you who don't know, making movies is expensive, and you know what's also very expensive? Marketing, and having to make deals with movie theaters, and you're cutting out the middleman. Because if you already own if you're the parent company and you already own the streaming service, you might as well want to keep everything in house, right? However, I do see how you are kind of shooting yourself in the foot because you're not making more money out in films. Well, out like in movie theaters. It's a tough situation because it's like, all right, if this movie comes out in theaters, then I'll make more money because movie theaters are expensive. Well, the reason why they're expensive though is because they have to up the price a little bit. If the streaming service, they might actually be able to keep it cheaper. Interesting. So I don't know. It depends. I guess I guess the market is going to be the one that dictates this, but if I have to make a guess, I think the more companies are going to start doing this. I don't see how HBO Max will be making money out of this though, other than just the subscriptions. Maybe the plan, and this is again all just speculation. Maybe the plan is, all right, we're going to become the service. We're going to just basically price everybody else out of the market. We're going to make it so, all right, we're streaming movies here that are currently in theaters. So come over here. And maybe they have the capital to edge them out. I don't think so, because I think Amazon Prime has more capital to back it up. But maybe the plan is just to get rid of Netflix, because Netflix is probably the weakest one here because they're in massive debt. And I don't see how they'll recover from this. So like they don't have the capital to back it up. HBO has capital to back it because they make money in other areas. Like, well, Warner Brothers owns HBO and all that stuff, and Warner Brothers makes money in a whole bunch of other stuff. They have like a bigger network. They have they've had subscribers for a really long time. They have parks. They have like a whole brand. They can sell. They have DC, so they have a whole bunch of other properties. Netflix doesn't. So maybe that's the play. Maybe they're all banding together to try to get rid of the competition. I don't know. I'll keep an eye out on this one until it finally makes sense. But so far, honestly, I'm excited because I'll get to watch this movie at my house. So you can look forward to my review of Wonder Woman 1984 on December 27th, maybe. I don't know. I'll give you a few days. I'll give you the weekend. So, but yeah, afterwards. So there you go. That's the update there. Another, like I said, there's other movies that are considering doing the move to HBO Max, and one of the big ones, the one that I really was excited for, is Mortal Kombat. Now, for those of you who don't know, there is a live-action Mortal Kombat movie that was filmed, I believe, in either New Zealand and Australia. This is produced by James Wan, who directed Aquaman, and he created the Conjuring movies. but it was directed by somebody else. It was directed by what's his name? Sam McQuoid. I don't really know the guy. Point is, the movie seemed exciting. It seemed like a reboot for the franchise. I was very much looking forward to it, and it was supposed to be coming out kind of already. Like it was supposed to be coming out January 15th, 2021. However, Warner Brothers was considering releasing it on HBO Max. Other movies that were considering to be released on HBO Max in switching up the film strategy that I was talking about is Judas and the Black Messiah, Denzel Washington's The Little Things, and the Tom and Jerry remake, which I saw the trailer for and it looks terrible. So I'm not looking forward to that. But if it's for free, well, not for free. If I already paid for it and it's gonna come out for on HBO Max, I'd watch it because it's already there. Anyway, so like I said, they're considering one confirmed mega title, 3, well, Tom and Jerry depends if you want to argue if it's reasonably big property, but okay, 3 reasonably let's say anticipated films, and then another that I consider to be a big title, which would be Mortal Kombat, because I'm a fan of the Mortal Kombat movies. I enjoyed them. The first one is obviously better than the second one, but I really enjoyed the first one. So there you go. So it's the point is that they're all, well, the speculation here is that everybody is waiting to see what happens with Wonder Woman. Like I said, Wonder Woman is the bellwether here. The way that Wonder Woman goes is probably the way that at least the future of the Warner Brothers films will look like, or at least the immediate future of Warner Brothers films will look like, and maybe film in general, because everybody's got their own streaming service now. So we'll see how it goes. I'm torn. I'm honestly torn because I like it because I already have it. So I like because I already have the service, and it's going to be easily and readily available for me, and I don't have to leave my house. So that's great. That's convenient. Another part of me is like, I like going to movie theaters. I like, especially there's movie theaters in Mexico, Cinepolis VIP, where you go on a Tuesday, it's 2 for 1. And you have like a little waiter there that comes. You can order stuff. You can bring beers to your seat. They bring you wings. It's great, and it's not that expensive. It's expensive for Mexico. It's not expensive if you win dollars in the U.S. So that's how I've always explained it. And so it's a fun experience. It's also fun to get out the big ass screen. I'd honestly be more excited about playing video games in the big ass screen because. And apparently it looks like some movie theaters are going to start renting out, theaters for video games, which I mean, my crazy brain, I'm always like, I talked about this. I want to do my video game tournament. I'm dead set on making a video game tournament. I'm going to do like a smaller test, but eventually I want to make it bigger. If you could rent out a movie theater to do that, things start getting more exciting, wouldn't you say? Well, it depends on how much it costs, because I would rather do it, like just show up, hang out for free and stuff like that. But if it costs me a lot, then it's like, oh, well, we'll have to charge for the entrance and stuff like that. But that's not as fun. I'd rather just, like hang out, bring some beers or whatever. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But like I said, that to me, this is things, and a lot of things are starting to point in that direction. A lot of them. It's not just one. It's not like Disney already did it. I'm not sure it went that well with Mulan because they were charging $30. And for some reason, people think $30 is a lot. I mean, and by people, I mean me. I heard $30, like, fuck that. I'm not paying $30 for Mulan. But if, let's say, Avengers Infinity War would have come out, on Disney Plus at the same time that it came out on theaters, and it's like $30, I'd be like, all right, $30 is fine. I get together with my best friends and be like, hey, 10 of us, because the people that I know who love the MCU, be like, let's get together and let's watch it at home. Let's just get together in my place, get some popcorn, get some snack, get some pizza, watch it, make it a whole thing. So between 10 people, $30 is not a lot. For one person, $30 is a lot. So, and also depends on the title. To me, Mulan, especially, from what I've heard, I still haven't watched it yet because I don't want to because of what I heard. I probably will just so that I can do a review on it and so that I can maybe save a few hours of your life. Why do I waste hours of my life to try to save other people? No, I don't know. I'm a martyr, I guess. Anyway, again, like I said, it depends on the title. Maybe they'll start doing it selectively for big titles, but the big titles are the ones that would make the money out in movie theaters. So I don't know, but it's the way of the future, I guess. and it's how things are working right now. So there you go. Like I said, it's very confusing. It's very complicated, but I'll try to keep you posted as best as I can. Also, for those of you who care, for right now, it looks like Mortal Kombat will be released in theaters worldwide on March 5th, 2021, which is weird because I haven't really seen a trailer for it, and supposedly it's already done shooting, so I don't understand why they won't release a trailer for it, but all right. I mean, I'm assuming they know what they're doing, and if not, well, it's their money they're wasting, so there you go. Next, we have kind of an update. Well, HBO, just keeping with HBO, just so I can finish up all these news, all these pieces of news. HBO has given a series order to The Last of Us TV show. So this means that they're not really going to even do a pilot. It's going to straight to series. I'm both excited and very terrified for this show. First off, I like HBO. Second off, I like The Last of Us. For those of you who don't know, it's a video game. It's a post-apocalyptic video game. Basically, it's a zombie apocalypse. I've complained incessantly about The Last of Us 2 because it was complete and total garbage. It was a piece of shit. Anyway, the show has been greenlit, and the writer is Craig Mazin, who wrote the TV show Chernobyl, which was very popular. It was very well received. I still haven't seen it, but I've heard really great stuff from it, and I'm excited to watch because I have it on HBO Max. And so I've heard good things. I've heard that he's a good writer. Dude's legit. Unfortunately, the director and the showrunner is going to be one Neil Druckmann, who is also the director of the video game, who completely and totally ruined the fucking story. So I'll give him all the credit in the world for the first movie. All the credit in the world. You know, it's one of my favorite video games of all time. It's one of my favorite video game stories of all time. And I've said repeatedly, I was kind of out in the video game world. You know, it's like one of those, have I grown out of it? Am I too old? Or is it the kids that are wrong? Is it me? And then all of a sudden, I played The Last of Us at a friend's of us house, and I was like, I thought I was out, and they pulled me back in. And I loved it. I loved every second of it. However, The Last of Us 2 was infuriatingly bad. It was disgustingly bad. It's one of the worst destruction of characters and stories I've ever seen in my entire life. I've argued with Eddie about this incessantly. I have to argue with it. And honestly, he's the only person I've argued about this with, because everybody else seems to be in agreement that it was a total and complete piece of shit because they completely and totally destroyed the story. Also, fun fact, Eddie is the type of guy who gets really excited about things, and then afterwards, once he thinks about it and sits with it a little bit, he kind of changes his mind. A perfect example of this is the Star Wars movies. So when we were talking about the prequels, and well, we talked about Solo, and because I hated Solo. To me, Solo is the worst thing with Star Wars in it. He watched it again. He was like, you know what? Maybe it wasn't that bad. Maybe this, like, dude, compare it to this, compare it to that, and this, and this, and this. And he was like, all right, yeah, maybe it was bad. Like, see, it's you're blinded by love. You know that happens. You know when somebody's dating somebody who's a total piece of shit, and you're like, but I love him. And you're like, yeah, but he treats you like shit. He actually doesn't bring anything to the table. He's taking all your money, and he's lying to you. He's cheating on you. And you're like, but I love him. It's like, yeah, you're blinded by love. You don't see all the bad, And I love it when those people break up, because afterwards they're like, all these things that people were telling me, why couldn't I see them? Because you're an idiot. And it happens, but, love can be a two-sided blade here. Anyway, so the executive vice president of HBO said, they're Craig and Neil are visionaries of their own, with them at the helm alongside the incomparable Carolyn Strauss. This series is sure to resonate with both diehard fans of The Last of Us games and newcomers to this genre-defining saga. We're delighted to partner with Naughty Dog, Sony, and PlayStation to adapt this epic, powerfully immersive story. So, honestly, it all depends what story they're telling. If they're going with something that's completely unrelated to the main characters, Ellie and Joel, just another part of this world, that could be fun, I guess, unless they ruin it. I don't trust the guy. I have to put it like, I don't trust him with his own product. He ruined it. To me, The Last of Us is dead until it's proven otherwise. It's dead. If they come up with a third video game, I'm not going to play it unless I just see an astounding amount of evidence that proves the contrary. I'm just not going to play it. I'm not going to play a third game. I'm not going to watch the show. The evidence that it's not going to suck has to be overwhelming, or the evidence that it sucks so bad has to be overwhelming, because I'm gonna come in there and rip it to shreds because I like doing that stuff. So there you go. That's the final update there. Well, at least with that particular topic. The last piece of news here, and I kind of mentioned it a little bit with Wonder Woman, is we have some information about Zack Snyder's reshoot of the Justice League. So this I actually found shocking. Like I told you, Zack Snyder was greenlit a few $1 million to reshoot a few scenes of the film, like $70 million to reshoot the film. And you think $70 million? It's going to be a big chunk of the movie. Also, it's going to be like 4 episodes of a TV show because they're making it into a mini series. It's going to be like a lot. Turns out it's not. And I'll just read you the quote here from Zack Snyder. I think it's valid on one hand, though. I will say that in the end, it's going to probably be about 4 or 5 minutes of additional photography for the entire movie. In the 4 hours that is Justice League, maybe 4 minutes. 4 minutes. 4 minutes. Okay, that's, first off, insane that they spent $70 million in 4 minutes. However, that's my knee-jerk reaction because it just sounds crazy. However, if you got to think about it, scenes aren't that long. And I remember in, what is it, Batman? Yeah, in Batman v Superman, the director's cut, they added like 30 minutes of film. So here they're only adding, correction. They're adding like an hour and a half. They're just reshooting 4 minutes, which is also confusing because then why the hell did they hire Josh Whedon to reshoot stuff? If they already had so much material, and I mean so much material, to make a 4-hour miniseries, and the only thing that was missing was 4 minutes, why did they... I mean, couldn't they make it work with what they had? Why'd they have to add Josh Whedon? Why did he have to reshoot stuff? And for those of you who are thinking, well, maybe he's combining things that Josh Whedon used. No, Zack Snyder said that he's only using stuff that he shoots. So this is very confusing. Honestly, like, did he have hidden footage? Did they just think it wasn't going to be good? Are they using those $70 million for all the CGI stuff? Because that's also possible. Now, it could be that they're doing additional photography, and then the other stuff, it's just going to be CGI. It could also be that they shot a whole bunch of stuff for Batman v Superman, and they had it in stock already, and they're just using it for this. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of possibilities. It just sounds weird. At least, to my ears, because just 4 minutes, $70 million is nuts. It's nuts. But, all right, so far, Zack Snyder has proven that when he does a director's cut, it actually comes out pretty well. So, all right, I'll trust him. Like I said, I'm a Batman v Superman guy. I like the movie, the director's cut, the extended edition. So, we'll see. He also teased about the possibility of there being a sequel for Justice League. Now, like I said before, I said a few months ago, supposedly this was going to be a one-off thing. It was just going to be when the Snyder cut was originally announced. Supposedly, it was just going to be Zack Snyder, releasing his director's cut, and I thought it was going to be a way to get people to come in, into HBO Max. It was going to be a way to attract people. That was my original assumption. Now, things are getting more interesting. Like I said, I'll read the quote, and then I'll get into my speculation. So, this is a quote from Zack Snyder. It's a long one, so bear with me. If you said to any of the actors in the movie, well, what happens in the movie or what happens later or whatever for any movie, and they go, well, I got the script and it's cool and I kind of know this, and so Ray Porter and I were talking about this and what's cool and what's the right response to some questions, it's fair questions to ask me, like, what do I say to the world about, what happens when Darkseid comes to Earth? Then what? Is that a thing? And I think, listen, the truth is that, did I write and did I have a conceive? Oh, that's what we were writing it. Did I write and did I conceive a complete? Do I know what happens with Darkseid? Yes, I do know what happens. To say and to speculate about what that is and that would be exciting, I think that's a fine thing, dude. This either Zack Snyder's really weird talking, or I'm very bad at reading, or these people are really bad at writing, or a combination of all three. Because that hurt my brain to do. But I'll break it down what he said. Because honestly, I just should have break it down for the minute, but I'd rather you hear, well, not from the horse's mouth, but I'd rather you hear the quote, even though it really didn't make much sense. So they were talking about like what actors can say about sequels and stuff like that, and the future of a franchise. Like, oh, because fans do this, and they do this a lot, and I kind of don't like it. I don't like it when fans ask actors things about a particular movie. Like when they ask Mark Hamill about the extended universe for Star Wars or the sequels, like, oh, is this happen, or what about this thing from Luke or Leia, blah blah, or the future. They don't know. All right, actors are writers. All right, actors are not the writers. The writers, the directors, the creators, those are the people who know all that information. Ask them. And then they can be like, well, I can answer this, or I can't answer that, or I can tell you it's going to be revealed at some point or not. Actors don't know. And it really bugs me when they put an actor in that situation, because honestly, if I were an actor and I were in that situation, I would just make stuff up. I would just completely and totally make stuff up. I'd be like, oh yeah, like for example, let's say I'm playing Peter Parker. And they're like, oh, well, what happens to Spider-Man in the next movie? Oh, well, he dies in the beginning of it, and there's going to be a new Spider-Man. And they'll be like, what? They'll be like, yeah, I mean, that's what I think is going to happen. So there you go. Like, oh, what is Spider-Man's favorite, I don't know, food? Be like, he doesn't eat. Spider-Man doesn't eat. Or he eats flies. Stuff like that. So I would just make stuff up. And like I said, I don't know why they asked actors these questions. I don't like it. I don't like it for them. But it's better when they act, when they ask the writers or the creators specifically, because those are the guys who create the story. Actors control nothing. They control nothing other than their performances, and even not that, because they have somebody directing them what to do. And at the end of the day, they could do 100 scenes they're not even going to make it to the final product. So they could just be shooting them just in case, or they might decide to cut out a storyline because the movie's too long or whatever. But what he said on the other half is actually pretty interesting. He's like, oh, well, what happens? Because people ask him, like, what happens when Darkseid comes to Earth? To me, I was like, interesting. So is it not clear that what happens after Darkseid comes to Earth? So this thing leave us with kind of a like a cliffhanger stuff. Is it going to be just a tease? Like, it honestly, to me, it sounds like the Snyder cut is going to end with Darkseid just showing up. And so for him to say, and honestly, it's a smart idea. If you're Zack Snyder and you make such a cliffhanger like that, like Darkseid shows up, and so the next movie has to be made, and it has to be made by you because you're the guy who made the whole story and pretty much created this universe. That's a smart idea. That's just it's not foolproof, but it'll gives you a bit of an advantage. I don't think that's the way that they're gonna do it, because I don't think that he would be talking about it that openly. So maybe it's what they call misdirection, but we'll see. The point is, he's saying that he's contemplated what happens next, which is kind of what most storytellers do. There's George R. Martin says that there's two types of writers. There's the gardener and the architect. The architect knows exactly what he wants and he builds it. The gardener kind of just like lets stories grow. Some things are better one way or the other. Sometimes it's better to be the gardener. Sometimes it's better to be the architect. It sounds like Snyder is kind of an architect, so he already has a plan, but we'll see. Point is, it was DC news, and I said I was going to catch up on every single thing DC today, and I did. So there you go. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully it was interesting information for you, and if not, well, then I just wasted my time. So I don't think so. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. So there you go. As always, any comments, questions, or suggestions, you can find me at Dario the Show on Instagram and at Super Dario World. Also, live streaming on YouTube and on Twitch at Super Dario World. If you want to see the video of this, it should be uploaded later on YouTube if you want to find it there. As always, thank you for listening, and I'll see you again next time.